What's up, good people? First of all, my apologies. I'm 37 minutes late, and that's 100% my bad. Uh, Life be lifing, and this music don't stop for nobody. But one ain't got nothing to do with the other. I'm gonna get better. Much apologies. Now, let's get down to the nitty gritty, shall we? Here's what I want to know. I'm gonna give it a second just so a couple more people pull up, so I'm not repeating myself. That's an ill pet peeve. Just let a couple more. What up? What up? What up? What up? Aqua Productions. What up? Good to see you, King. Welcome back. You're a very welcome member of the crew. Hope your day is going well. Hope you I hope this weather's not whooping your ass the way it is everybody else. Ain't no getting past that. Salute, salute, big salute. No face. What up? One time. Just letting a couple more people gather before I get into this because once I get started, I don't want to stop, and I 100% don't want to have to explain myself a couple of times. Can y'all hear me clear? I'm trying something new. Put a thumbs up if this is coming across nice and clear. Everybody can see. I'm outside every day. Good God, you a real one. You're a real one. Very low. All right, let me try something else. How's this now? Is this better? Yeah, it sounds clear. Okay, well, it's very low for somebody. And then, wait, no face. You said it was clear from the beginning. Hold on. Let's try it. How's it now? Am I clear or am I low? Let me know. It was a little low. What is it now? No face says much better. Rich Franklin. That's an ill name. That's one of my favorite fighters. No face. Is it clear though? Is it clear? Oh, what up, Charlie? Clear. Okay, that's all I need. Can you play Andre Turkey for 2 minutes if you want? You can play. Rich, you are named after one of my favorite fighters. That's crazy. One of my favorite fighters before Anderson Silva completely. Yeah, I ain't even gonna finish that sentence. Rich Franklin might actually, you might, for all I know, you might be the real Rich Frank, the actual, not that you're not the real Rich Franklin. Whichever Rich Franklin you are, you're the real one. But I definitely don't want you to be that Rich Franklin and then Rich Franklin destroyed him twice. Okay, cool. So me and you is on the same page. I don't want no smoke with the actual Rich Franklin. Even a even a retired UFC fighter is still like a rusty 38 with no safety. Like you just not something to play with at all. And but I'm not about to. You miss me with that. That man fought Anderson Silva twice and Chuck Liddell. I'm good. Super good. I have a question. Now that we got a couple more people in here watching, I have a question. I'm sure you saw the topic, the subject. Um, am I still hating on DJ Academics? Is it still foul for me to point out that he's not a journalist? Simple, real simple question. Because what I really want to do, yes, he is a beast. What I really feel like doing is going in my comment section and find the homie who told me that I was hating on academics. I hope he pulls up. I hope he actually watches this. I want the reason why he said it is because he was telling me that academics is definitely a journalist, and he felt like I was hating because academics doesn't run his ship my way. I'm not doing all that. Y'all are killing me in the comments. I'm not doing all that. Oh, before I even shout out to K Capri. If y'all see K Capri, holla at him. This is fire. This sucker free. This is fire. And Kid is back on his with his bars. And if you didn't know we had him, get to know because he's not playing. One time for Kid Capri. Um, Gosh, is this the part where I start reading the comments? Wow. No, it's not. So check this out. He got at me. Um, I thought journalists be moving around. Well, okay, I'm not getting at him because he stays to himself. The man makes a lot of enemies the way he talks. He makes a lot of enemies. And that's part of not the making enemies part, but follow me on this. Not the making enemies part, but the way he makes his enemies. When I was doing my journalism full time at the source, and I was on like heavy music editor, the enemies I made, enemies weren't even, it wasn't beef. It was people who didn't agree with their ratings. It was people who didn't like that they got denied for XYZ, A, B, and C, one, two, three, a feature or whatever. They thought they were getting 2 pages, they got one. They thought they were getting 1 page, they got like a paragraph. They thought they were getting a paragraph, they got a picture and a caption. Like there was a lot of times when people got pissed because somebody who they felt they were better than got something they felt they deserved, and that's just how it went. Ack makes his Ack gets his beef from getting directly in when he becomes the story, which is how all the journalists, and I'm saying all as if there's a bunch of them, but any journalist I've ever seen end up in the headlines, it happens because they put down the journalistic standards and they start moving like a talking head or even a celebrity, somebody known. They start moving like, just the media. They're still in the media, but they're now the subject of the story, which journalism wise you're never supposed to be. It's supposed to be reporting. You give the facts. um when it comes to music journalism and you're critiquing something, you make it a point to not inject your personal feeling into the piece, right? If I gave a rating on an album that didn't get a positive rating, it wouldn't be because I didn't like it specifically. It would be for the reasons that I was able to state. Well, the track listing doesn't flow one into the other. A lot of the rhymes are off beat. The sequencing seems a little off. Sequence and track listing, same thing. It's not mixed a certain way. The songs are redundant, like he's repeating himself line after line, and this subject matter is the same as that subject matter is the same as he's got the same song on here like 4 different times with just a couple of different beats. All the beats sound alike. Like there are a lot of reasons why an album might not get a favorable rating, and I'm just going off the top of my head here. But in no way, shape, form, or fashion am I supposed to say, yo, this album is ass. This dude is one of the biggest um punks I've ever seen in my life. Did you see how he walked away from that fight? Yo, he's absolutely, dude challenged him and he said no. Like, yo, this album is ass. This dude is trash. I'm not buying nothing for. That's all personal. That has nothing to do with the work. And I noticed that when Academics gets into issues, it's because that's the approach he's taking to things. That's number one, no objectivity. Number two, integrity is out the window, which is another standard of being a journal. Objective journalism, that's one of the standards. That's a big one because that means you can be bought and sold. That means if there's enough money, you'll say it's good. If there's enough money, you'll say it's bad. If there's enough money, you won't say anything at all. If there's enough money, you won't stop talking. I don't know if you guys ever watched My Expert. You're right, that is unprofessional. I don't know if you ever watched me on My Expert Opinion, but at the beginning of the show, I made it a point to shout out dope rappers, people who I thought were absolutely fire. Dom Moody, Amir Ali, Akeem Ali, Sha Summers, Saba the Goddess. Like I just shouted out people that was dope. And Math used to crack a joke and say, "Yo, how much are these people paying you?" And it would irritate me. Like the first time, it was nothing. But repeating that joke a couple of times, it started to irritate me because it's literally calling me a liar. That's exactly what that sounds like to someone with any kind of integrity who's a journalist. You're making it sound like I can be brought and paid for, and that's a high level insult. High level insult. That's like top of the top insult. What I would tell him is, if these people had the money to pay me, they wouldn't have to pay me. They wouldn't need me to advertise for them. They could pay for ads. They could buy ads. They don't have any money for stuff, or maybe they did, but I never asked for any. I never even made contact with most of these people. I know Sha Summers. I actually met him. I know Saba the Goddess. I've actually talked to her. Um, Amir Ali, I've gotten in contact with. But anyone you've ever heard me get in contact, anyone that I've ever gotten in contact with, happened after I shouted them out on the show. They got back to them that the guy from My Expert Opinion was shouting them out in an episode. They went and got that episode, maybe clipped it up or something, and they would hit me up. And they would tag me when they posted it. I would get right back in there and finish the cosign. Yo, you earned it, bro. Or you earned it, sis. This is dope. Well, yo, name me somebody whack. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not putting any attention on stuff I don't like. I'm just gonna big up the stuff that's good. Even that's not me being objective, right? Even that's my personal opinion. That's me giving you, and I had to take my journalism hat off to do that. I still use my critical, my my ear and my objective ear, my the ear I used to critique music with, sure. But like these guys were just dope, and I just shouted out the dope stuff. There wasn't enough money. The point is, there wasn't enough money, or there's not enough money to make me say that something is dope when I think it's whack. And I've been approached with all kind of bags, but the problem is, once you sell your name, it's useless. It's worthless. You can only sell it once. Once somebody knows they can buy you, you're forever for sale. And the integrity goes out the window. Your word now can no longer be trusted, because if you trash it, somebody will think that you just didn't get the check. The Zelle didn't clear. So now you're trashing the album. If you big it up and you think it's fantastic, people think that the Zelle actually came through. The cashier's check worked out. The wire transfer went through, connected. You got the first half. That's what it sounds like. That's why you never do that as a journalist. Your man Ack is on live talking about 30 bands from Lil Baby. He just admitted it. That's the viral version of payola. And poor business practice. Good thing you did. Word, facts, facts. But the thing is, I never would. That's not how this thing works, right? That's not how this thing works. And the other thing, there's objectivity, there's integrity, and there's another tenet that for some reason is slipping. Just because I want to say it, it's now slipping my mind. You got to stay objective. You got to maintain your integrity. Two, and there's a third one. I don't know why this is. Just because I want to tell y'all, there's a third one that's slipping my mind. But I did put it in. I did put it in another live that I did. I actually talked about it. Act don't care about the 30K. He was exposing the game the labels play. They give people money all the time. Bro, you are caping for him right now. Pay new it's equivalent to paying radio. Newsflash, Playboy, paying for radio is called payola. It's illegal. It's illegal. You can't do it. It's illegal. You pay a DJ to play your record, he gets caught. It's legal. Go look it up. Hot 97 just went through a bunch of shit off the strength of that. It's literally a federal crime because the airwaves are federally regulated, the FCC. It's literally something you can't do. And the way you explain it to me as if it's okay to do, it's not. Act's not exposing anything. He exposed himself. You're not supposed to be able to be brought. That's not how that works. If you can, then you're not priceless. You're cheap. If you take money to suppress your true feelings, you are compromised. The end. Period. Period. Which is why I've never done it. Which is why even when it's mentioned around me, I start feeling some kind of way. Now, consulting, totally different story. Somebody pays you money to analyze their music. That's a service that you're providing. Did you say I'm caping for him? I don't know him. I don't know you. It's just a topic. A few days we won't be talking about act. That's not the point. You don't have to know him to cape for him. The fact is, what you said in his defense, which would be the caping part, is completely inaccurate. He's not exposing the game. I don't want to dress up this thing as if it's something noble that he's doing. And listen, this is not me hating on academics. When I get to the end of this, it'll all make sense. How often does this go down in the game? Plenty, 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 plenty. And all I can speak for is myself because I've never seen the checks. Somebody can say that they paid somebody off and they never did. Somebody can say that they put money, I put money in this dude's hands to get Mech to do X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C. Meanwhile, that guy doesn't know me and has never met me, or you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. It's dirty. It's dirty. uh, Night a good chunk of the game is knowing who to pay for the service that you want, and those are for the legit services. Somebody can tell you that they can do something for you, and they don't have that ability at all. Meanwhile, they're paying the guy or the girl who can actually do that service, and the money is like it's like half. The fee is half, but it's wild out here. But let me digress. Let me digress. When I got accused of hating on academics by saying because I was saying he's not a journalist, um, I really want to press home the fact that there's no hate in that statement. I don't think Act should have to wear the jacket of a journalist. I don't think he should be strapped to those morals, that standard. I don't think he should have to hold that because I don't think he ever gave that to anybody. I don't think he ever said that. What's the difference between labels buying ads and the source? They're paying to advertise. It's a huge. They still can't buy the rating. They can pay. Anybody can pay to advertise their artist. Uh, you can put the album cover super big right there on the page. You can't pay for the rating though. The same magazine that artist is being advertised in, he might get two mics. He might get three mics. Just because he advertised doesn't mean that he's going to get a favorable rating. If you go and do some homework, the source had a huge walkout. I think it was back in like the mid '90s. There was a big walkout in the source, and it was because the owner changed the mic rating for an artist, and he did it behind the back of the music staff. And once that happened, fucking the writers a shit ton of writers walked out like fuck this, because if you're compromised, just say that, but we can't allow ourselves to be compromised because you want to play favorites. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And for those of us who take it seriously, it doesn't have to be that serious to y'all. To most people, it probably isn't, because you don't, this isn't your thing. So I understand that. But please believe, if you're a journalist, it's a big deal. And this is coming from somebody who knows that I'm gonna have to take off my journalism hat to do the thing that I'm doing, because eventually you become the story. You can't move like a journalist when you're the story, when you're the thing that people are writing about. Even doing this could have me becoming the story. Ack becomes the story. Elliot Wilson becomes the story when he lets out, when he, you know, stops being objective and objective journalism. How am I saying subject? Whatever. When he steps into the story, when he puts his personal feelings into the story, or on the subject, or he expresses his personal opinion, a lot of times he becomes the story. But that's what you're not supposed to do as a journalist. You're just supposed to frame the entire situation, but you're not supposed to put your personal thoughts, your personal feelings. Um, you're not supposed to put any of that on your subject. You're supposed to remain objective and just, hey. one, two, three, A, B, and C, and you can frame it. You can make it look dope. You can paint a picture. It can be fire. You take direct quotes, and you can frame it a certain way, but you're not allowed to put your personality. Your personality should show in your writing, but your personal voice should never be coming out in the story. That's not how it works. It's a little hard to explain, but I'm not doing a great job of explaining it, but it's a real thing. I say all that to say that whenever I've seen a journalist become the story, it's because he put his own personal feelings into the situation. What I'm telling you is, I've never felt that academics should be held to those standards. I think that's his goal. I think his goal is to not be held to those standards. I think his goal is to get exactly what he's getting out of it. I don't think he should be held to those standards. The only reason why I even mention those standards is because I watched the interview. I watched part of the interview with him and I didn't catch the whole with him and ASAP Rocky. And ASAP was like, "Yo, you're a journalist. You're supposed to be doing ah." And I wanted to step in and go, well, "Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't put that on him. Why would you do that?" Rocky, don't call him don't make him wear that. He's never told you he was that. He's media. He's 100% media. He's 100% media, and he's high level media. All eyes go to that dude when he starts talking. He's 100% high level media. But journalism, a journalist comes with a list of boxes you have to check off, and you got to rock with those. And just because people don't like them, or just because people don't understand them, or just because people will tell you they're not that serious, doesn't lessen the seriousness of them. Just because people don't get it doesn't mean it's non existent. And I really want us to understand that. I don't think academics should have to wear the mantle of a journalist. I think he's a media head. I think he's a talking head. I think he's a media personality. And I think all the things that come with that should go straight to him. But, he might be to journalism what he is to actually DJing. I've never actually seen him DJ either. Now, for all I know, he's a beast, but my standard for DJing are dudes like this, Kid Capri. My standards for DJing are Clark Kent. My standards for DJing are Spinner and all these other dudes who are amazing. That's my standard when it comes to DJing. It's a pretty high bar to catch. I don't know if he can catch that. He might be a DJ. He might be a piss poor DJ. But I know he's not a journalist just based on his own moves, not based on me hating or me wanting to paint him a different way. He might do some reportive journalism. That story on Chirac, you can label that reportive journalism. But like as far as like all the boxes you got, it's not a bunch of them, but the boxes you got to check, like there's a way you got to do things, and it the way doesn't go away because the times modernize. Standards don't move with the times; they remain in spite of them. That's what makes them standards. If they just shifted every time the times, they didn't. What are we talking about? It's nothing. It's just another way of operating. But standards have to maintain, and these do. And I'm watching Act tell everybody 30 bands, and it's like, dude, yeah, that tracks. That makes sense. That makes sense. Not high quality, but people watch it because it's entertaining. You know what? You're right. You're right. And you don't need a lot of quality to entertain people these days. Akademiks calls himself a journalist. Unfortunately, I only think he's doing that because he doesn't know what it really is. Nobody's actually sat him down and told him, bro, this is what. In the most technical sense, it means putting pen journaling. It means putting, and we know he's not doing that. He's not writing anything. So there's that. Like I don't think he's ever written any pieces. But like, I need to see the footage now. That's funny. Um, This old dude is out of touch. We blow 30K in a Miami strip club. Bro, you have walked in here and just completely told on yourself. You were in that much of a rush to be wrong? Bro, can you show 30K on live right now? Okay, count 10,000. What you are in the wrong place, Playboy. This is not what we do in this section. You've completely come to the wrong place. 100%, you're in the wrong spot, bro. That goofy shit is not what we do in this cipher. Thank you for participating, but that's not how we give it up around here. Um, I'm not. Again, this has nothing to do with me hating on Ack. This my house bigger. Drop a link, my nigga. You, Jesus H Christ. You're right. I'm paying attention to the wrong dude. Conversation with y'all gotta stop doing the wrong thing. We absolve Ack from his words, saying, "Well, he doesn't know. He's a grown man. He's smart. He knows what he's doing." I hear you, bro. I hear you. I hear you. I'm not trying to absolve him. But I hear you. I hear where you coming from. I hear where you coming from. This is not me absolving him of the things that he does, right? I just don't hold him to the same standard that I hold other. He doesn't disappoint me. Taking 30 bands and taking 30 bands to not talk about somebody's album, that doesn't disappoint me. That's par for the course. That's for him. For him, that's what he does. That's his thing. I'm not even mad at that. Ack called himself a journalist. Had Ack has called himself a journalist. Yeah, but I don't think he knows what comes with it. I think he just calls himself that because that's become the buzzword for anybody who's doing anything in media. They just say, I'm a journalist. But that's like, fixing a tire and calling yourself a mechanic. That's like making a sandwich and calling yourself a chef. It's not the same thing. And if you don't know any better, hey, I'm chefing up in the kitchen. Yeah, it sounds cute until a chef shows up. Until the chef shows up. He calls himself a DJ2 delusion. Well, shit. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I've never seen what he can do DJ. And I hate that because it feels like I'm picking on him, but I'm really trying to get everybody to understand that we have to hold people to the standards that they set for themselves. Um, I understand you're not trying to absolve him, but part of the problem is those with a platform don't point out his game and harmful approach. It's just Act empowers his bullshit. You know what? That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. He was a DJ in college, just to be fair. Groovy. Groovy. There it is. There it is. Somebody co-signed it. There it is. Bink Bink Bianca co-signed. Okay, cool. That, like I said, I've never seen it, and this is really far beyond the point. I don't want him subjected to the standards of journalism. I say groovy. I say groovy a lot. I got a lot of words from like my pops and my grandpops. I still run those back. I say groovy a lot. Um, yeah, he. I don't want to hold him to those standards, but I also don't want to absolve him of the things he does that are harmful. You're right. I That's a fair point. You're absolutely right. Um, Making mixtapes off the internet. Groovy is a fun word. I think so. Throwing parties where you play music doesn't make you a hip hop DJ though. Okay. Now we're getting into metrics and standards. But, bro, restoring the feelings. You have a point. You have a point. It's and this is not for me to absolve anybody. You have a point. Um, you 100% have a point. And I guess that's the line we that's the line we have to look at. Hmm. That's the line we have to figure out because you go from not wanting to, bully and pile on somebody, but you also don't want to absolve them from the bullshit that they do. And my point was clear. I just don't think I've never looked at Ack as a journalist. I've never seen him do journalism. I've never seen that in any of his moves. Being a talking head, being a media personality is not the same as being a journalist to someone who's actually put pen to pad and written and interviewed and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So for me, it's different. It's a different. It's even asking people questions doesn't make you an interviewer in my eyes. But I have a different standard as somebody who's done it who's done it as a profession for years. It's I'm not new. Um, Sidebar: I've had gray hair since I was 12. You gotta anyway. Um, yeah, I don't want to pile on, but I also don't want to absolve him. I think for me, the media have become entertainment in a lot of ways. They're entertainers too, and I think they should be held to an entertainer's standard. I look at a lot of these media heads as reality stars, especially the streamers. That's reality TV. That's reality TV. You're literally just sitting. You're in front of the thing, and people are watching it live. It's literally reality TV, but you just skip past the taping portion and the editing portion. It's now happening right in front of you, and they're now the new entertainers. I Show Speed, very entertaining. Have you watched that kid? It's watching him go through Africa, very entertaining. It's literally reality television now. And I think when we start talking about streamers, we start talking about a lot of these podcasters, not all of them, not all of them, but more than half. When you start looking at them, I think we need to frame them in the same lens as entertainers. And if they're entertainers, you're not holding them to the same standards you do as a journalist. A journalist isn't supposed to be an entertainer. He's supposed to be behind the story. You should only know him from the byline, that little square in the corner of the story at the very end that tells you exactly who wrote it. But being able to go live and all this other good shit, they're now the new entertainers. And if we held Ack to an entertainer's standpoint, how mad would you really be at him for accepting 30K to do a job? That's just what entertainers do. That's like somebody offering me 30K to go host a show, or giving an up and coming artist, or you know giving an artist 30K to go perform somewhere. That's not up and coming money, but giving them 30K to go perform somewhere, like that's just what artists do. Nobody's mad at that, right? I think if we looked at him more like that, we'd be less disappointed. I'm not sure his antics would be as harmful if we just looked at him as an entertainer and let him entertain. Sometimes the entertainment is him sitting across from somebody asking him questions. Sometimes the entertainment is him barking at little baby, and sometimes the entertainment is him spazzing because he got smacked by somebody in little baby's crew. Sometimes the entertainment is him getting drunk on stream and just going off, just Hennessy breath all over the microphone, just spazzing the fuck out. That's entertaining. A lot of people find that entertaining. The same people who are entertained by watching somebody else play video games. Like, there's a market for that, and as long as there's a market, then it's entertainment. And if it's entertainment, you don't hold it to a standard. What Ack is doing is illegal in entertainment. He's just manipulating listeners. What Ack is doing is illegal, not entertainment. He's manipulating listeners. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, I mean, that's advertising. UMG, Warner Brothers, etc. all pay him. They're advertising their artists. They're again, he's not. That happens when that's cool when you're not a journalist. When he's like the Source magazine, but just minus the integrity and minus the standards. He's an entertainer, and it, like, okay, labels paying academics to talk about their artists, good, bad, or indifferent, or being able to place their order in what he says about their order, about their artist, based on the check and based on what's on the menu, is the same for me as giving a movie star an extra $10 million to advertise a movie that they're in on their Instagram page. I heard a story. I don't know if this is true, but I heard a story a while ago that Kevin Hart did a movie, and the uh, the studio came to him and said, "Okay, well, here's the stuff for you to post on your Instagram," and he was like, My Instagram is like over 100,000, 100 million followers, or something stupid, like, some stupid number on Instagram, like 10 million. He was like, that's going to cost you extra if you want me to put the movie on my Instagram. That's going to cost you extra. Nobody looked at Kev and said he's doing bad business practices. You looked at him and said he's a shrewd businessman. That's smart. You sell every piece of real estate, everything that catches eyes. That's extra money. You got paid to do the movie. Okay, cool. Now you want me to help you advertise it. I need that advertising budget. Pass that over, and then I'll do my one too. Makes perfect sense. I look at act the exact same way. I look at act the exact same way. He's an entertainer. Labels pay him to advertise and show off their artists. It's all marketing. It's all in the budget. I don't even can't even get mad at him for that. It is what it is. I don't hold him to these journalistic standards because he's doing interviews and because he's holding a mic and asking questions. I don't hold him to that standard. And I think we're not absolving him, but I think if we took a step back from what we expected from him and everybody was able to do that and just look at him through that lens, maybe now he's not doing the same level of harm that he was doing before. Maybe. Wait a minute, what? Rest in rest in peace. Tash of the Alcoholics. Nah, don't tell me that. Nah, no way. No way. No way. That is not what I want to hear. I'm not ready for that news on a fucking Tuesday. Catastrophe? My homeboy from the licks, not my guy from the fucking licks. I don't want to hear that shit. Don't even play like that. New face, you check, nothing's coming up. Rico Smith, Tash of the Alcoholics. No, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I don't see anything either. I don't see anything either. No, I don't see any, I'm not seeing anything either. And I hope I don't see anything close to that for a long time from now. That is not okay, bro. Don't be saying shit like that. If that's not okay. I don't know where you heard that from, but you go smack somebody off the strength of some dumb shit like that. Tash is a beast. Mm-mm. Okay, that took me completely out of the pocket of what I was talking about. So I think this is as good a place as any to leave it. Just wanted to go live and kind of clear the air. Don't rest in peace, a legend. I don't see that. Um, I'm not seeing that anyway. I'm gonna be looking for this for the rest of the fucking night. I might DM him right now just to. I need him to confirm. I need proof of life. That's not even funny. Yeah, through the whole show. Yeah, damn sure did because I'm definitely not focused on nothing else except for um Tash. I need to know that bro is alive and well. That is not okay. We're losing too many of the great ones right now, and that dude is his pen is special. Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. All right, y'all. I'm a shake the spot. Hopefully I cleared that up. Hopefully I cleared that up. Again, I'm not in this to hate on anybody. I never did. I never will. I'm not wired that way. I'm all for everybody doing their thing as long as you ain't hurting anybody else or hurting the culture. Um, yeah, facts. As long as you're not hurting or harming the culture, In the words of Nipsey Hussle, I'm cool to let the goofies go on goofy time. Some of them make their way into here occasionally, but you know, goofy's going goofy. There's no getting rid of them. But you just gotta let them rock. You just gotta let them rock. I just think Al recommended your channel. I guess they're realizing we got the same taste. Welcome, welcome. Pull up. We're gonna be doing this way more often. I'm thinking I'm gonna start going live around 6 o'clock every night. I'm thinking it's Eastern Standard Time. Um, think I'm gonna keep it around 6 o'clock and get consistent for you folks, and we can keep having these little fireside chats where we clear the air and kind of reset the standard because I think there's something happening in hip hop. I think there's a change coming. There's a movement happening. I can see a groundswell of activity, and I want to foster that. I want to foster that, and the only way I can stay in tune with it is for all of us to be on the same page at the same time. Um, my first time live, apart from the fake news. Bless up, yeah, word, salute. Yo, I'm not gonna hold you. That threw my whole shit. Yo, shout out to shout. First of all, shout out to the licks. Shout out to the whole all the lick. Shout out to the licks. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to that crew, the alcoholics. One time for them. Dope ass MCs from the West Coast. Fire, King T, Exhibit, Tash, J Row. Like shout out to the crew. E Swift, shout out to the crew. And second of all, Tash, if you see this, just know somebody fake news in your death just blew my whole high. Just fucked my whole zone up. Yes, community building. That's exactly what this is. Community building. Alcoholics was nice. Alcoholics are nice. They are nice. No is, no past tense. We're not doing that. Jesus Christ. Okay. We out of here. Um, Let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking, how you feeling. Let's keep this community building up. Like, share, and subscribe. There's more like-minded folks out there like us. And if they're not like us, then they can rust. Pump this up. That rhyme. Pump this up. Hit the hype button. Let's build this thing up. I know it's off topic, but I just gotta say, I feel a bit glum that you're not on my expert opinion anymore. You had the best intellect on there ever. Well, bro, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thankfully, I'm still in the land of the living. Me not being in front of one camera doesn't mean I can't still connect with y'all. This is the community that we building up. So welcome to the mechanism. We're gonna be doing it over here, and no need to feel glum. And when I start the new show, make sure you tune into that too. But just let all your people know this is where we at. This is where we doing it from here on out, and we only gonna excel from here. You dig? Blessed as fuck. Everything's on the incline. Y'all be cool, and I'll catch you tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Let's do it again. Cool? Finally, let's get into this common Jada thing. I don't want to let that slide. I know the topic's over, but fuck, I still want to talk about it. I will see y'all tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, y'all. Peace.